So welcome everybody to our April Council meeting. And before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet. And of course, we're on Wiradjuri land, and pay our respects to their elders past, present, and those that will come into the future. And I'd also like to acknowledge any First Nations people who are joining us here in the chamber today. I'd now like to hand over to Roger, and Roger's going to say a prayer for us. Thank you, Roger. And I just let everyone know that you are on camera in the chamber. Thank you.
Let's now acknowledge God and bow our heads to him and pray to him. Dear God, we praise you that you are God Almighty, the one who is creator and sustainer of the world. We thank you that you are loving and merciful, that you are holy and just, and that you show your character to us through Jesus Christ. We thank you that Jesus is the Saviour and Lord of the world, and through his death on the cross and his resurrection to life, our relationship with you can be restored. Please, therefore, help us to turn to you in trust and obedience. But Lord, today, as we pray for this council meeting and for the ongoing work of council in our community, we ask that you'd give wisdom to all those who are here and meet today, that everyone would listen well to each other, that issues would be clearly understood and well debated, and that the best outcomes would be achieved. We ask that you would also care well for all the workers within council, both in the office and in the field, that safe work practices would be followed, that people would finish their day in the same health as they started, and each person's work would be completed effectively and efficiently. And we pray for the broader community of Forbes. Please help us to be aware of the issues in our community and to know where people need help. We ask that you would enable our community to work well together so that our community grows and flourishes here. And Lord, we ask that you'd help us to know all these things, and that all things happen best when we depend on you as our God. And now we thank you that we can bring all these things before you, that we can speak to you and know that you hear us through Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks very much, Roger. Okay, would someone like to confirm the minutes of the meeting of the previous council?
Happy to do that.
Moved by Councillor Webb, seconded by Councillor McKiskey. Is there any opposition? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, I declare it carried. People that have died over the last month within our shire, and also some very important people that used to be in our shire, have passed away. John Edward Fritz, William Edward Dowdy, Vivian Patrick Cody, Charles John Chislett, Marlene Dawn Roberts, Barry Edward Anderson, Lionel Allen Gray, Leslie Brandt, Lindsay Norman Wilding, Audrey Margaret Mason, and of course our famous Max Hazelton. Without Max having the foresight, we wouldn't have airlines as we have today, being able to travel out of Parkes to Sydney. Derek Han, who was the former state coroner, and of course Father Bob Maguire, and I think we all have a place in our heart for Father Bob Maguire from Melbourne. So would you please stand and have a moment's silence for those people? Thanks. Yes, it's been moved by Councillor Roylance to send the letter of condolence to the family, seconded by Councillor Herbert. I'll put that. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, I declare it carried. Now, very excitingly today, we have some new employees. So I'm going to hand straight over to our General Manager, who can start with the first lot of introductions. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and councillors and members of the public. It is with great pleasure
that I get to introduce you to Alex McMillan as our new Director of Projects. Alex has got a big task in front of him because it's a brand new division that we created in Council to look after all of our $40+ million worth of projects. But we're going to let Alex tell you a little bit about himself. But Alex is what's known in the vernacular as a boomerang, a Forbes boy that went away, got some experience, and then he's brought the experience back to us. So, Alex, if you come to the podium so we can all hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for the introduction, Steve. Yeah, I worked out the other day, I've spent 17 years living in Forbes and 17 years away, so even time, which meant it was time to return. I left here in 2007 after school, went to Newcastle to study uni, and also tried to become a semi-professional footballer. I quickly learnt my abilities weren't equal to my expectations, so I focused in studying my construction management degree. On the last year of completing that degree, I went to start full-time work with an engineering construction consultancy, which I started working out in the Hunter Valley. From there, I spent 12 years basically working on major projects throughout New South Wales, of varying disciplines and varying role opportunities. I started as a junior graduate engineer, and then worked my way up as a senior project engineer, and then package managing projects for various large mining companies, and also for Transport New South Wales. So I was lucky enough to be able to gain, I guess, during that 12 years, a lot of mixed disciplines, but also and of contracts, being hard dollar, design, construct, and just construct contracts. I probably the highlight of my projects over the time was at Yamba, where I spent 5 years on the upgrade of the highway up there with WSP, the company that I was employed by. And yeah, that was a pretty important project for the community, and a lot of political pressure involved, but very rewarding, and as well a lovely spot to live, which was one of the other key drivers. I guess how I got drawn back to Forbes, it was quite a weird event. I was out at the tip with my brother and ran into Matt Teal, and he mentioned there was a job coming up which would probably suit my capabilities. I didn't think that I'd ever get the chance, I guess, to move back to Forbes and showcase what I've learnt in the last 17 years, and be able to show what, how projects are being managed and the like. So it was a bit of a surprise, but it was something that just aligned very much with what I was looking for at the time. So yeah, went through the review process and was lucky enough to be awarded the job, which very appreciative and very excited about. Yeah, looking at behind, obviously a very big recruitment drives underway, and ongoing, and reflects, I guess, the amount of capital work that we're about to go and deliver. So yeah, like Steve alluded to, it's a big role, and I guess you could say there's a bit of pressure on making sure these projects are delivered and achieved, timing wise, as well as, I guess, providing the best outcome for the community, and consulting and getting all the right people in the room and engaged, and ensuring that everyone has input. But I guess when I look back at my experience, it's not unfamiliar ground for me. It's the first time in local government, but it's all the same systems. There's just some different abbreviations that I've got to get up to speed with. So it's really exciting, and I'm really happy to be back in town and reconnect with a lot of good people and friends and family. So personally, I guess me and my partner moved back to Forbes, which is really exciting. She's got work at one of the local schools as a primary school teacher, so that's a positive as well. And yeah, we're really looking forward to maybe, starting the next chapter of our life together. So it's good. So thank you.
Thanks, Alex. I was going to say that Alex is very modest, but after that speech, because he, a couple of things that were in his portfolio when he was working on the duplication of the Pacific Highway was the koalas. People were very, very passionate about the impact that would have there, and also cane farmers, because where the duplication goes through, those of you who might have been up there would know that it's cut some of the cane farms in half, and that's no mean feat. It also, Madam Mayor and Councillors, is very pleasing for me to introduce 3 new Central West Livestock Exchange operators. I'm going to read the 3 names out, and then if we come up at one at a time and just introduce yourselves and give us an abbreviated speech about your life. If we could have Gemma Dillon, Jed Matheson, and then Cody Nielsen come up and one at a time, please. Thank you.
Gemma Dillon, 26 from Cobar, just started at the Central West Livestock Exchange. Picked council because it's got great opportunities. Thank you.
See how easy that was?
I'll be talking 3 to 4 minutes.
It's all good.
I'm Jed, just moved back to Forbes. I moved away to work, then all the floods, then FEMI. Moved back to FEMI in France.
Hi, I'm Cody. I don't really know what to say.
You've been working at the sale yards for a while.
Yeah, I've been there for about 18 months in the casual role.
Yep.
And just started full time. So.
Welcome, Cody.
Okay, over to you, Mel. Your turn.
Me?
To hear that.
So my team are actually urban services that I'm going to be introducing today, and I know how keen everyone is to make sure we're presenting the town really, really well, so I didn't want to pull them away today. We've just got them out there working really hard. So I've got 2 easy to remember. I've got Jamie and Jamie. So Jamie Kabata. So that's actually, if you remember last week, we had Mella come and introduce herself as the new Trade Waste Officer. So Jamie is her husband. So he's just started on council in a full-time capacity as an urban services operator. And we've also got Jamie Roper, who is a local and has been a casual working at Forbes for a little while now, and he's also working in the urban services team. And then we've got 1 transfer, so Luke Evans. Luke's been at council for quite a few years now, working in the construction and maintenance team. He's jumped in to become the event support person, and so he'll be working under Pat, but under Mark Willis, doing support for events when they come up, and then when there are no events, he'll jump into the urban services space to help with all of that. So I guess we can welcome them in their absence.
Okay, Stefan.
All right, so there's 4 from corporate services today, which is a bit more than normal, so that's good news for us. So I'll probably call down Emily Jack first, who's our recruitment and HR officer. Emily's been with us for about, is it nearly 2 years now? 2.5. 2.5. How time flies when you're having fun in corporate services. And she's been successful in the recruitment and HR officer role, so I'll pass over to you, Emily.
Thanks, Stefan. He just stole my speech. But yeah, I've been at council for about 2.5 years now. I was employed as a trainee business support officer, where I got to spend 2 years in different departments in council, that's where I found my passion for HR, learning all things people, and yeah, that's just where I think I've been working best. So I then applied for the HR and recruitment officer position, which was one of the new positions from the org restructure. And I was successful in that, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where that takes me and the opportunities that brings. Thank you.
Next on the list is another internal transfer. I'll call down Greg Hands, who's our successful in the asset technical officer position. I won't say where you came from, so I won't steal your speech. Over to you, Greg.
Greg Haynes, I'm a local, I've been here for over 50 years, been employed by the council for the last 18 months in the store, and have just moved into the technical assets officer role. So yeah, looking forward to going around and capturing all the data on all the assets and giving us a good footprint on where we're working with all that sort of stuff. So that's it.
Thanks, Greg.
And next on our list is Kyron Jackson. So I'll call Kyron up. He is our new IT officer, so the new Chris, we call him.
Hey, how are you? I'm Kyron. That's an offensive stereotype, and it's also true. So I used to work at Catholic Care, just over there, and then when COVID lockdowns ended, I went overseas to visit my wife's home country, and I've come back, and I'm ready to get back into it. So if you need me for any IT support, you can contact the general manager. You can pass your details on to Mitch, and then he can pass them on to me.
And last but not least, if you can get out from where she's sitting, we have Kelly Wooldridge. So Kelly's our new visitor services officer. So she gets to start a new job, and hopefully soon in a new visitors information centre as well. So welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Hello, I'm Kelly, and yeah, I'm going to be based at the Visitors Information Centre. Yes. And eventually the new site at the Lachlan Vintage Village. I'm very excited about that. I'm a Forbes local girl, not born but raised, and I've just spent the better part of the last 10 years in sunny Queensland, working for state and federal government, and now I'm really excited to be back in this space. I actually did work for council about 12 years ago, so in the marketing department. So happy to be back, and yeah, really looking forward to the direction that we're going with the Visitors Centre. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Hi, Matt.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor and councillors. It gives me great pleasure, similar to Stefan, to introduce 4 new team members in the Planning and Growth Department. We've had a bit of churn of staff of late, and actually we've filled some hard to recruit and fill roles. So it's really exciting. We are embarking on probably the new and forward direction in our department. We brought in a whole new, as you guys know, a new function in planning and environment. So with that, I'll introduce Paul Adams first. If Paul can come down to the dais and tell us a bit about himself. Paul's our manager of waste and environment.
Hello all, Paul Adams. I'm another boomerang, only I took a little bit longer to get back. So if anyone wants to know, I'm Bruce and Margaret's son, if you want to place me. So I, Sydney University, doing ag science, civil construction work around Sydney, demolition, asbestos removal. Over the UK, doing some consulting over there, Contaminland Consulting, site investigations, water sampling, landfill stuff. Back over here, Brisbane, I've been working as a contaminated land contractor, doing project-based works across Queensland, NT and WA. So yeah, very much the project-based works, pretty major projects. The most recently finished up at Rathambly after delivering $90 million worth of work from contaminated land, soil removal, fuel tanks, roads, and water mains and fire mains and things like that. So again, it was about time to come back. I always planned to, or thought about coming back to Forbes and contributing and giving back to the community that gave me so much, and this seemed like a good time and opportunity. Wife and 4-year-old child as well, who's just started daycare, loves it. So no, it's really enjoying it. Matt's given me a great introduction. I've been running around for the last week or so. This is day 6. When people keep on asking me where things are at, what's going on, I said, well, this is day 4, day 3. Give me a bit of time to give me a bit of time to get a handle on things. I think it's a great team. I mean, the Rangers are doing great work, and placing a few positions, and no, I'm quite looking forward and quite excited by the opportunity. So, no, thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul. Interestingly and excitingly, Paul's work will be in the landfill space as well. So He's going to be instrumental in the design and delivery of the new expanded landfill out at Newriggleby. Alex's team will help to deliver that. Obviously, it's a project, but we're going to tap into his wealth of knowledge and experience. And on that end of the scale, the landfill, but he's just as focused on sorting out Mars Lane. So, thank you, Paul. Okay, so the next person, if we can call up Matt Cheney. Matt is a graduate building surveyor. So, Matt, if you can tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so 43, born in Forbes. Lived here most of my life. So I had a 2-year stint away in Melbourne. I went down, I'm an electrician. I was an electrician, I should say, for just under 25 years. And yeah, I've decided to give this building surveying a go, and I think that experience in that trade is certainly going to help me step forward into that a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. Yeah, I love this town. Always want to be here, probably for the rest of my life. Raise my kids here, and yeah, it's great. Very excited to be working here.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Matt. The next person I'd like to call up is Chendu. If you can come up, Chendu, there you are. Chendu is a graduate building surveyor. Juan, how do you say last name?
J-I-A, so Jan.
Jan,
Yep.
there you go. So Chendu Jan. So, yeah, Chendu, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, mate.
Hi everyone, my name is Chendu. You can alternatively call me CJ. So I'm currently a cadet building surveyor, being trained here at the moment. So I came from a background my home country is China. I came to Australia in 2016 and did my all tertiary studies here. So I was initially in Sydney and moved to Tasmania for a couple of years to complete my studies. And during that time, I found interest in the building surveying, which is about the regulations and codes, that sort of thing. Then, straight after my graduation, I found this opportunity to be working for Forbes as a cadet. Apply for it, give it a go, and luckily I got it. And I've been here for a week and quite enjoy the life here. The team is super supportive, and living here is quite nice. So hopefully I will spend a very good 2 years during my traineeship. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
He's also modest because he didn't tell you he has an architecture degree. So that's what he was doing well, actually a master's in it. That's exactly right. Thank you, Chair. Down in Tasmania. So Sujan, can you come up, mate? Thank you. Sujan is our development engineer. So Sujan, if you can tell us a bit about yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm Sujan Ditao. So I completed my bachelor's and master's degree in civil engineering. I completed my master's degree from UTS Sydney in civil engineering, and I got some work experience in council. I worked in Liverpool City Council as a work experience volunteer for a couple of months, and also Windsor Council as a project officer for 1 year, and Esri Australia in Bendigo, work as a contractor for defence for 1 year, and now I'm here in Forbes, and I'm very proud to be part of this team, planning and growth team, and contribute to the community, and yeah, enjoying the course as it is.
One final point to that is the last three are in our development and assessment team. So as early as this morning, the Mayor, the General Manager and I spoke with some developers, and they said fundamentally the thing that drives development ahead very fast or positively is great relationships with council, open two-way communication, and quick DA turnaround time. So what you see here now is the beating heart of what will underpin that into the future for us. So, you know, we're all aware of the expansion that Forbes is about to go through from a housing point of view and a population point of view. Well, it'll be this team that really helps to deliver that. So thank you for trusting us, and thank you for allowing us to employ some great new people for our organisation.
Thank you, councillors and Madam Mayor, and I just wanted to say great congratulations to our HR team. They don't get many accolades, But as you can see, we're in a huge recruitment drive at the moment, and we've been struggling for a long time to actually attract people, but they've finally hit the sweet spot. So, Kel, congratulations to you and your team, and I'm sure that we're going to be well served by all these folk.
And we're going to make life good for you here while you're here too. We'll make sure of that. Okay, our declarations of interest are on the screen. We have one open forum today, public forum, and Mr. Terry Jones. Terry, if you'd like to come forward, down to the lectern. And he's going to speak about Bundaburra Creek ramp. Thank you, Terry.
Well, regrettably, I'm not on the payroll for all these people. I just have a question for the council, is why we have a locked ramp on Bundaburra Creek. It's a waterway on a stock route area. I believe there's Bundaburra Ski Club have their own little ski club there, and some sort of agreement with the council to keep the gate locked so the rest of the public can't use it. I don't think it's not fair, and I'm pretty sure it's not legal.
There's no agreement with the council. That would be with Waterways. Can we take that on notice, Terry, and get
Most
back to you
certainly,
on that?
yep.
Because we're unaware of what that licence is saying. If I had known what you were going to ask, I could have done a bit of work in the background. So if ever you want to address this again and there's something like that, by all means, just give us a bit more information and we could have brought it here for you. But I'll get in contact with you and I'll make sure you get your answers to that.
That's great. It's just I'm an old water skier, and I know there's a lot of other boaters around the area.
Yeah.
People would like to use the area, and as we all know, it's a river. It's an open waterway. It should be used by anyone that wants to use it.
Okay.
I went to school here and I used it 50 years. Oh, I shouldn't say that, but a long time ago. But anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries, Terry. And could we, excuse me, could you just note in the minutes, if we could just minute that we will get back to Terry Jones in relation to the Bundaburra Creek ramp? Sorry, Councillor Gradiana.
Could we also get that agreement sent out to us councillors?
We haven't got anything. We don't know what
when it
anything
comes in,
is.
but-
We don't know anything. When we get the information, it will definitely go to councillors, but it will also go to you, Terry.
Well, I actually, just to interrupt for a little bit, I spoke to Waterways in Sydney first, because that's where I had the phone number to.
Yeah.
And I emailed them and just told them the situation. And they're the ones that told me that you guys had the Forbes Council had an agreement with the local club here. So anyway.
That's okay.
That's up.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll go through and do our withdrawal. Oh, sorry, we've got no apologies. Oh, yeah, we have to. We've got our engineer, Richard James. Would someone like to move that we accept it? Moved by Councillor Duggan, seconded by Councillor Roylance. I'll put it, all those in favour say aye, against I declare it carried. Yeah, and we've got our beautiful Mel is standing in. She's our engineer today, so be kind when you want to know things. I'm sure she'll be very capable in letting us know. Okay, so let's start. We're going to start on page 9, 10.
Can I get, number 3 on 9?
Ten, 11,
please.
Number
Can I-
4 is Councillor Webb. Yes,
12,
Councillor.
12.
11, 12, thanks.
Oh, you
11,
were.
12, yeah.
I can ask you a question.
Which one?
Both.
So who's got those?
Well, I'll have 12. It's the
I'll have
same.
11.
I guess we've got the women
Yep.
here. Margaret, I'll have 11.
miss them.
Huh?
Page 12, 13.
Yeah, can I have the 19 on 13, please? Just a query.
Can I have 18?
Both got in front of me, you did.
And I'd also,
Michelle?
18.
Excuse me, if we could just have a bit of shush. Yes, Councillor.
yeah, 23 on 13, please.
23. Page 14, 15.
15.
Sorry,
Yep.
14,
Yep.
Could I have 32, please?
Hang on.
32 on 15. And
Excuse me, we'll go 40. Did you say 14?
yeah, 14. I want to take out 28, please.
28, Councillor Cradiana.
Yeah.
Councillor Duggan,
Yeah, you can have that.
page
That's all.
15.
Item 32.
Yep, you've got that. That's good.
16.
30 on, sorry, 15.
Yeah, yes you can.
Wait a minute.
16, 17, 18.
Please.
Um,
Could I have 47 on page 18, please?
47, Councillor Duggan.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. 52 also, please, on 18, please.
Yep. 19, 20, 21.
Sorry, 20, yeah, sorry, Madam Mayor.
You're right, no, you're right.
22.
22, yep. What would you like?
Just 67 on 22, please.
23,
Yep, 74 on 23, please.
74 on page
23.
24, 25, 26, 27.
20, yeah, can I have that, the 100 on 27, please? And also 102 on page 27, please.
Could I have 97 on page 27, please, Madam Mayor?
Yep.
97.
And I'll have 94. Why not?
I'm back on page.
Back on page 26.
Okay, excuse me, if we could just have a bit of shush while we go through, that would be appreciated. 28, 29.
Yeah, just a query on 108, please.
30, 31.
31, yes, please, Madam Mayor. Just a question for yourself, if that's okay. Well, it's just a mayoral report, but can
And
I?
you've got the report.
No, I don't. There's no report.
Yes, there is. It's been handed to you.
Oh, okay. I just have a query.
Yep, that's fine.
At some stage, can I just do that on another issue, please?
33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63.
Just on 62, I've got a question there. We'll take out the whole lot, I don't care.
$64.
Willis.
65, 66, 67.
Yeah, could I take that out, please? Just the credit card policy.
68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74.
Yeah, can I have that 74, please? Just a query on that.
75, 76, 77, 78,
77.
77.
Question?
That has been all taken out,
All right.
Councillor Matisky. So when Councillor Claudiana speaks to that, you certainly can. 80, 81, 80.
Again?
Yeah, Jenny.
Hmm.
Right. The next one is page 85.
Yes, please.
It's Jenny, was it?
Yeah.
Where do we go to next?
Okay, 114 is the next one.
Can I have that?
Right. 115, 16, 117, 18, 19, 20, 121, 122.
Please.
122.
Yep.
Councillor Duggan. 123, 124, 25, 26, 27, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136.
Yeah, I'll have that, please, just to query on it.
136.
Yeah, 136.
Okay, the next one is 143, 144, 45, 46. That goes right through with that painting proposal. Right, the next page is 164.
Yeah, can I have that, please?
Yes.
I just want to ask a couple of questions.
165, 160.
Yep, and I want 166 too, please, Madam Mayor.
Take the whole lot, eh?
Somebody else wants.
Just take the lot. Take the whole
It's only questions.
167, 168, 169, 170, 171, 72, 73. I'll go through to the end of this proposal. Okay, 186.
So, hang on.
It's our local strategic planning statement.
Yes.
186.
Yes, please.
Do you want that, Councillor Webb?
Yes, please.
Okay. And then it is there, so we'll just flick over to 193.
Yeah, could I take that, please?
All right, 209.
Yes, please.
Councillor Matisky. 10, 11, oh well that's all of that, so we'll just go forward on that. 223 is the next number. 224, 225, 226.
Can I take that one, please?
Yes.
And myself also, please.
226?
Yep.
226 is Councillor Herbert. He's got it. Yep.
And I've
Everyone can speak to it once it's withdrawn. So all of that is withdrawn. So on whatever matter you want to speak, you can.
238?
We are up to 238, 239, 240, 241, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 261, 262, 263 is the General Manager. That is the end of that business paper. We will go to our blue paper. Okay. It will start on page 6. There's the report 5 it is. The report, General Manager's report is
that
there
now
for
white
your
paper now?
information. Beggars?
That's been moved into the... Is it moved into the...
No, the report itself
Okay.
is in the
Yeah, I'll
confidential.
take that section then. I'll take that one.
And then the outcome of the
thing is in number 1.
is in part 1 where it needs to be. It was in the wrong section. So did someone say they wanted
Yeah, I'll
to take
take that.
Okay. Okay, 28.
Yeah,
Yes.
Everyone
Just got
wants
that.
it.
Yep, everybody else.
Everyone's.
Who got it?
Oh, well, I'll have it.
Maria.
Excuse me.
Well,
Well,
all
no,
people
right,
spoke
that's
at once.
right.
Everyone's
So,
got it.
That's right.
guess what? You only need one to get it.
Yeah.
That's-
You can all
that's
have a
it.
go at it.
That's it.
Okay. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33,
Yep, please. Just question.
36, 37, 38, 39.
I just got a question on that 28.5.
So what are you, you're
20.
39,
Yeah, page
Councillor
39.
Willis. 40, 41, 42, 43.
Yeah, 43.
Oh, okay.
Councillor
We're all gonna
Roylance.
go
So
that way.
43,
Yeah.
45.
Yeah, 43 and 45.
Okay, Councillor Roylance. 46, 47, 47.
Yes, please.
Councillor Duggan. 48, 49, 50, 51,
Oh, sorry.
52, 53.
Yeah, I'll do
Oh, you can do
53.
53, okay.
Councillor Roylance. 54, 55, 56, 57. Okay. That's it.
But our supplementary.
Yes.
It's
Supplementary.
supplementary, so we deal with it in totality. No worries. Councillor Cradiani, you've got the floor. Item 3.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just an update. Anyone could give us a bit of an update on the ambulance station? Is that possible at the moment, or where are we?
Yeah, for an unfortunate thing happened that the contractor that was doing the job, that contract had failed. So it's been very difficult to go out publicly and talk about anything until such times as that was finalised. The Department of Public Works is helping the Art Society in order to get a contractor that will come in, and the project will be finished, and we're hoping this year.
Could you just elaborate a little bit on that, when you say the Department of Public Works will come in and help complete? Is that
No.
financially or?
They will come in, the department, for those that don't understand
Yeah.
who the Department of Public Works are, they work for the state government. And they come in and this is a grant funded project, so they are a group that come in and assist us. They've assisted Forbes Council many times, especially with delivery of sewer and water. They are coming in on this project just to get it back on track and get another contractor on board.
So it's not
So they'll
financially?
project manage it.
Project manager, is it? Is that right? Sorry.
Nothing to do with finances.
Yeah, just project manager. Thank you. I'll just stay standing there.
So that's the reason that there's been a bit of silence on it, because we've been a bit careful. Councillor Webb, you have the floor, number 4.
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor, I think the manager for this one, is this just sitting on hold and we just don't do anything with it until it's to do with the water grid? So it's not activated as yet, is it? Or, sorry, or not?
Through you, Madam Mayor, thanks for the question, Councillor Webb. So this is all about obviously the water grid and connecting up the 3 towns, Parks, Forbes, Eugowra. So last year a big proposal for $70 million was presented to the state government to put in around 100 kilometres worth of pipeline to connect the towns up for water supply. As of yet, the state government haven't commented on the proposal. Personally, I think it's probably unlikely that the entire project will get over the line, especially in the current weather situation. You know, plenty of water being around. It is possible it will get reviewed at the next drought. I guess also with the recent state election, it's not currently on the radar, but there could be more information to come. So it's really just a waiting game. Does that answer your question? Or?
So when something like this comes to us, no DA or planning, so it wasn't a state significant thing that we're doing at the moment, is it? It's just, yeah.
So this project was, I guess, highlighted during the drought. It's been around for many, many years. There's been a lot of reviews in terms of environmental reviews and detailed design that has already occurred for the project. And there has also been some consultation as well around it, I suppose. Does that...
So just on hold, sitting there.
It's just
in case it
sitting
gets
there on
activated.
hold. Possibly the other thing you might be interested in, so from a Forbes point of view, the project is not just Forbes, it's everyone, but I'm working separately to try to get our pipeline from Bore 3 to the treatment plant. We're working with Safe and Secure through Department of Planning and Environment to try to get funding for that little bit, which is probably around a couple of million.
That was my next question, because we only wanted a very small portion of that.
Yeah.
So we can still fight
Yeah,
for that little
yeah,
portion.
definitely. I'm doing that actively.
Thank you.
And it comes from the Centroc Water Sustainability Study, which actually won an award in Canberra, I don't know how many years ago, but quite a few years ago. So this is that plan that was to make it sustainable in delivery of water throughout the Central West. So this is just a portion of one of the projects that's been highlighted that we're trying to bring on and deliver. Okay, Councillor Duggan.
Through you, Madam Mayor, could someone give us just an update whether the sale of that land is near finalisation?
Through you, Madam Mayor, thank you, Councillor Duggan. We are getting closer, which is positive. So the representative for the solicitors that represent Bunnings has indicated that they are moving through the final stages of their approval of our subdivision plans, which will then allow us to register the subdivision and complete the sales that are in train for the Homemaker Centre. You guys have no doubt been on site lately and have seen that there's a lot of star pickets out there with what surveyors call the candy canes, so the red and white PVC piping. Part of the ongoing output of this is the improvement to the car parking. So under the lease, there's a requirement for a certain number of car parking spaces. We are fully compliant right now because we have no spotlight or cafe, but we're building those back, so eventually we'll need to make some additional spaces available. So Alex and his team are starting to work out that project to add additional car parking spaces to the Homemaker Centre also. So we won't find ourselves in this predicament again. And I'll stay standing because I believe...
Item number 12,
Was Councillor Cradiana had number 12?
Yeah, I've got number 12, but if you want to ask a question...
Please, I had myself there. I think we were at the deadline. You're right.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
I just with the... yeah, it's all good.
Love it.
Look, obviously the Homemaker Centre rebuild, especially with the former Spotlight building, I don't want to elaborate too much, and pull me up if if we need to go into part 2 or we need to talk, if we can talk now. But how are we going with our tenants that have been hanging around waiting for this to be constructed, or a timeline?
We're going very well with them.
They're happy to sit around, because obviously there was a stage there where we were telling them that the Homemaker Centre would be complete by July, and it's quite evident now that that's not going to happen.
They're tilt walls, aren't they?
Has there been recent negotiations to let them know that now those dates have been blown out?
Madam Mayor, do you want to...
No, it's all yours.
It's probably best to move to part 2.
I'll be happy with that if that's okay with you.
Okay, so Councillor Cradiana, and what grounds are you moving it to part 2? Is it commercial in confidence?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Cradiana. Is there a seconder?
second it.
Seconded by Councillor Willis, that we put for an update on item 12, page 111, into our confidential section. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there any opposition? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. Councillor Herbert?
Yes, Madam Mayor, to the Director of Planning and Growth, just a question. The last line of that outcome there is councillors to advise where this bin bay to be installed. Have we done that?
Through you, Madam Mayor, no, not yet, Councillor Herbert. Good pickup.
Yeah.
Shows you are reading your business paper, so
I do.
congratulations.
Every week.
Councillor Aurelians and I attended the lane a couple of times to speak to one of the landowners. They weren't particularly happy with the location that the bin bay had been installed at. They were proposing to do some development there. We have got Mars Lane much tidier, albeit there is still some teething going on there, but it's getting better as we progress. But we have one bin bay that needs to be relocated into that area. Now, whichever area we choose, or the councillors choose, you're probably going to upset somebody, a land owner or an adjoining business. But we really need more space for the bins, i.e. the bin bays. So perhaps at the next briefing session, we might go for a wander and make a determination as to where that last bin bay should be located.
Could I make a
No,
motion?
we don't have any recommendations.
Okay. Yep.
These are items.
Is Paul looking after that yet?
Through you, Madam Mayor, absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Councillor Aurelius, is there any thoughts maybe from your
I can't wait. Good luck with that one,
Yeah.
Paul. Anyway, let's
chat to you
move on.
about that.
Councillor Karadiana.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just with the pit stop corner, we've initially it was just amenities and so on. Until our recent meetings, it's now escalated into coffee shop and containers and so on. What consultation have we done with the community about these changes? And other businesses within the town, has any of that progressed? Because at the present I see received detailed design costings for the external area and the cafe for adoption. So that to me, it's like council's already, I don't remember moving an motion for this, but where are we up to with this? Can somebody?
Yeah, I think the general manager can take
General
this one
manager
on
might
that, if you
take
don't
a
mind.
bit of info from anyone.
Thank you for the question, Councillor Gradiana, and I think it's important to cast our minds back to how this all came about. And the pit stop cafe when council purchased it was in an operational state, so that there was no real need to consult with the community about the land use for that particular site because it was already an operational cafe. But the opportunity was taken to incorporate what was already in the CBD master plan for the toilet and the kiosk that was going to be up the target end, what was called the target redevelopment. So the two operations were incorporated. So while I understand that some people might be a bit confused about how things have come about, but the point of the Pit Stop Cafe was an opportunistic thing for council to be able to purchase something that was already in existence. When the demolition or when the refurbishment work started on that, and unfortunately you discovered more asbestos in there than what we thought, plus the underground fuel tanks to make it so that there needed to be an entire demolition. But there will be a stakeholder engagement process go on when we get further along the processes, and councillors have been brought along on the journey for what some suggestions of those cafes, the container type cafes, and some of the road closure suggestions and the new rejig parking, nose-in parking instead of the parallel parking to fit more cars in. Whilst I do accept that it's taken longer than what we thought, but I'm pretty sure that the outcome is going to be an incorporated better outcome because we'll end up achieving killing two birds with one stone, so to speak.
Hang on, Councillor Gradiana. Matt's also got something to add to it.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor, and thanks, Steve, General Manager. Just further to Steve's report, Councillor Gradiana, is that the CBD Master Plan was fully consulted with the community, specifically the business chamber, a few years ago when it was first adopted. And in that, Pit Stop Corner is not inconsistent with what the proposed concept plans are. So it was a food premises then, it's proposed to still be a food premises in the new arrangement. So that, I guess that would tick the box of public consultation. But again, the idea is that when we complete the detailed designs, they come back to you guys for review and approval. And then it'll transfer to Alex, he'll deliver that once you guys say you're happy with it. And as Steve has said, that's the opportunity to go back to the community if you want to do some more consultation.
So, because the thing that concerns me is that we're going through this whole process and building, in my opinion, we're going councillor building opposition to other coffee shops and so on. So why are we going through all the designs and getting approvals when why aren't we going out to community consultation with the businesses around it prior? Because we might get a lot of these objections about council going into this area of, you know, now becoming tenants to another coffee shop. So why aren't we informing the businesses around them? And there's one particular business there, as you know, that are trying to get back on their feet, and this could be the thing that tops them to say, let's just close the doors on this because we won't be able to compete with the shop across the road.
I think it's important to remember food premises can be a lot of things. So coffee shop is one option for a food premises, but it might be a 5-star restaurant at the other end. You know,
So are you talking on council side it might be a 5-star restaurant?
I know.
Sorry?
We're debating.
I'll tell you what, you can ask anything you like. We're not having other views contrary to what has been adopted by the council.
I think it's a valid
And it is
point,
a debate, no, but it is a debate, Councillor Karadiana. If you've got a question about something that's happening, ask the question and get your answer.
Well,
Don't debate the answer.
question is, have we gone out to community consultation on the project?
Yes,
And where did we do that?
when we did the CBD master plan. And the other thing that if you like to take your seat, the other thing that, importantly with this is, contrary to people thinking that it's more opposition, I can't remember when Pit Stop wasn't there. It's been there for so long. It has been a food and a coffee place. We bought it because we were going to keep it as a food and coffee place to make our public amenities affordable for us. So I think that I certainly knew what we were trying to achieve on that site. So what we'll do, there will be more, there will have to be a development application, and that will be a very good time, Councillor Cradiana, for that to be community consulted. I think, and I've actually spoken to people in the vicinity of there, and you know, like some of the things with business, and I think we all know, like a bit of competition is quite healthy, and that competition had always been there. So we're not going to talk about it today, but we'll take on board what you're saying, make sure that the consultation is done well, and we'll go from there. Okay, Councillor Cradiana, you might as well stay standing.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just Spooner's Oval, where are we up to with that? Designs or
In terms of the master plan?
No, yeah, in terms of master plan, and it's I haven't seen anything on that for quite a long
I think
time.
it's Alex. Alex, if you don't
Alex,
mind,
you want-
Alex is doing. No, it's not the master plan.
It's the designs for the new grandstand and so on. Do you want to give us a bit of an update what's happening there?
Yeah, the designs progressed through to detail design. We've actually going to consultation with the football club at 2 o'clock today, as we speak, around that staging. So there's 2 stages. The first stage being the change rooms, and then the second stage will be the overall master plan of the building. In regards to the overall master plan, I probably don't have all the details at the moment, but I'll chase that up. But in regards to the
Consultation. That's fine. That's all I need to know. That's happening. Brilliant.
And then it'll go to the grandstands the next section.
Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Matisky.
What is that?
30.
28.
30, Councillor Matisky, on page 15.
Oh, sorry. I thought 28 was.
It was 28.
No,
30.
Oh, sorry.
Councillor Cradiana has 38.
Oh, your aim proposed.
We've just...
Yeah, have I picked back the 28?
Yep.
Yeah, the proposed fees and charges for the race course, yeah. These fees and charges, they're still proposed, is that right?
Through Madam Mayor, they're actually on public exhibition right now. So the public exhibition period closes tomorrow. So if you want to make a comment on the public exhibition, as part of the recommendation, they'll be receiving a report on the outcome of the exhibition period to the next council meeting. It closes tomorrow. It'll come back to you for approval.
So can I ask just a query on these fees and charges? We have Team Penning at the showgrounds, and they'll be utilising council's, and I spoke to the general manager about this, they'll be utilising the Crown lands that council now own. So those fees and charges from the Crown lands that council now owns, is that those fees and charges will come back to the showgrounds for this event?
When's the event?
It's this weekend.
Well, it'll go to the showground because they won't be embedded until Monday of next week.
Okay, thank you.
You could have a go now, Councillor Matusky.
The state government announced they weren't going to go ahead with Warragamba Dam. Have we heard anything about the Wyangler?
No.
They've put it, actually it's on hold. We are waiting for the business case that had not been done by the previous government.
So the government hasn't.
So it's not knocked on the head, but it is put on hold for the next couple of years in order to get the business case up. Councillor Duggan.
Just an update, please, Madam Mayor, on the heated swimming pool. I actually did a drive-by this morning and it's very busy there, but I think we were the 1st of May and I think we're heading to May the 9th now per your report, Alex. Can you just confirm for the general public where we're at, please?
Madam Mayor, so a lot of work's been done in the last 3 to 4 weeks with the resourcing and the scheduling and just trying to make sure we mitigate any delays at the 1st of May target date. Yet we have slipped on that slightly due to not being able to allocate additional resources to support the existing builder there. So the date was now moved to the 9th of May. So I've started a weekly email that I'll keep sending through because obviously the swimming club, indoor heated pool, have to back their membership with when we complete. So I'm just trying to make sure that they don't miss the jump on if we're earlier or if we slip a little bit.
So what we might do, Alex, so that everyone's in tune with that, would you mind putting all the councillors on those emails? I think that would, I know we've got councillors on the committees, but if every councillor gets it, you'll know where it's up to. So if we could just whack them on, that'd be great. Okay, Councillor Duggan.
Oh, where am I?
47.
Oh, there. Oh, yeah, again, if we could just have an update on the Visitors Information Centre. Actually, look, leave that over to page 226, so we'll only be duplicating, sorry, my fault. I made a mistake.
Councillor Caradiana, and you can stay up for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you. Yeah, just I know I keep harping on about the inclusive carousel and the park down at.
What one are you on?
Where are you at?
Where am I?
52, page 18 here.
Yeah, 52, page 18. You haven't got that one?
Oh, I've got it down here. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep, I have.
Yeah, so the inclusive carousel that was supposed to replace the Liberty Park, apparently we've got the funding for that. Where are we at with that?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Steve, yes, we do have funding in this year's budget and it is ready to go. The team have just been deployed fixing all the flood damage
I've
first,
seen that,
but it is in the program of works and we will be installing.
Have we purchased the carousel as yet?
That I could
Have we ever
not.
said that?
I thought he said we did.
Yeah. I just.
Yeah,
no, hasn't been purchased. I know that so the entire funding there.
There's
is for
definitely
it.
funding there, and the project's definitely a goer.
Okay.
The team's just been tied up, but I'll confirm whether we've procured it or not.
Thank you.
Stay there. 67.
Yeah, 67. Yeah, Lower Wombat Street. How have we gone with that project? I was actually called down there to have a look at that prior to its completion. So
Is that Brian?
yeah.
He's all good. Been there this week. They're doing the work. It's in the next 2 weeks that work will happen. The pipes will go in. Everything will be Bob's your uncle.
Unky Dory.
Uncle Dory.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
It's okay. 74.
Yeah, 74, the event signage board, any leeway with that as present? Location, maybe Brian Matisky, this is actually his project, his baby. Did you want to ask a couple of queries on that, Brian?
No, just how we're progressing with the...
Still at the vote stage, Councillor Matisky and Councillor Coradiano.
Thank you.
Councillor Gregory.
The vampire jet, we've got here there were funds aside. Do we actually have funds set aside, or is it money that we need to know how much it costs first and then where the funds are actually coming from? Is it just from our maintenance budget?
There's a capital budget.
Sorry?
There's a capital budget for the repair.
There is,
Through
yeah.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Councillor Duggan.
Oh,
Container
yeah.
Cafe.
The container cafe down at the actual lake.
Time
there's-
frame.
Yeah, time frame 3 months. So are we still on track with that? And have we seen a final design of that actual container? I don't believe we have. We've seen rough ones. Have we seen the one that we're buying?
Through you, Madam Mayor. We've got
Am
the
I
actual
wrong
one.
about something?
No, but I'm going to say
He's
excellent
gonna
question.
do it.
I was waiting for that.
There you go. So we are eagerly waiting for the final internal layout.
Good.
So we have our we've paid our deposit. We have got an allocation in their schedule. It's coming out of one of 3 places: Brisbane, Sydney, or Adelaide. That's where Containerfy, which is a company we're purchasing it off, fit out their containers. And we are waiting for the final draft internal design, because you guys need to review that, tell me that it's satisfactory and you're happy with that. Then we will then go out for the expression of interest, because we are waiting on that design to plug into the expression of interest, so we can run the expression, so we can get concurrently with the manufacturer looking for somebody to operate it. And because you're probably sick of me dealing with the Container Cafe in the not too distant future, Alex will take it over. So, and deliver it to you guys and the community. So there you go.
So we're still on the 3 months time frame?
I didn't answer that part of the
No,
question.
you didn't. No.
You go. So I need to get an update. The guy has said to me, "You're in the system. You've been allocated a slot, but I don't know if that means that it's." I would assume it's the 3 months are running from now. Once we made the purchase, that's the way he explained it to me. But if there's a delay in signing the design off, that will delay the delivery of the container, obviously.
Do you think that final draft will come through before the next monthly meeting, so that we could even do...
No, what we'll do, we'll send that out. We'll do an electronic on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Yeah.
We cannot wait month
No.
after month
No.
after month. So when you get that in, Matt, could you possibly, we'll get that out as flying minute.
Yep.
You either agree or you don't agree, and we'll try and facilitate, if we need to, a meeting to sort it out. Otherwise, we need to just get on with it.
I tried to get in contact with the guy earlier this week. He was on leave this week, so because I predicted that someone would ask the question, so I wanted to get an update from him. As soon as I get it, I'll send it through to you guys.
Thanks,
And
Matt.
can I just ask questions through you, Madam Mayor? Just regarding, so with the internal layout design, it'll be like a design that's most popular for the purpose that it's built for? Yeah, as I was going to say, so it's the most popular design. Okay,
And
thank you.
through you, Madam Mayor, interestingly, Councillor Willis, the reason why we chose this particular container was because it had a lot more internal and external embellishments.
Yeah, good.
So it's not just going to look like a container on the outside. They've got wood panelling. They make them look very attractive.
Well, pictures you showed us were great.
And all of these questions you're asking and things you want to know, you can do that anytime you like through the month. We have now spent over an hour just on matters that are before us. Now, these are quick questions, quick answers. Otherwise, ring up the director and ask for 20
Madam Mayor,
minutes.
may I make comment to that, please?
You can make
The
comments.
reason I like to bring these questions out is so our live stream, how many people that don't sit here anymore get to know what's going on in council. I think this is an integral part of council that we should be.
Councillor Cradiani, you've got the floor.
Thank you. We're back to provisions of cleaning contract. When will this contract be done? When does that go back out to tender? Well, we haven't tendered it, have we? It's just temporary.
So yeah,
So-
through you, Madam Mayor, Councillor Gradiana, cast your mind back. We've actually gone out twice for this tender.
Yeah.
And both times the council, has chosen to reject the tender.
Yes, I remember.
We delayed it, waiting for the new manager of town presentation and facilities to come online because they will be the contract holder for this moving forward. So I believe that the facilities team are in the background working on the preparation of another tender to go out to address this. So at the moment we're just doing a month-to-month extension.
Yes, with the contractors.
With the
present?
previous contractor, yeah.
Okay.
So it won't be too far away, I wouldn't have thought, until it
Um,
comes back to you guys.
Sorry, with the cleaning contractor, I thought there was 2 contractors involved in that. One for the outdoor toilets and one for the council.
There is 2 separate contacts.
Yeah,
contracts.
so in both of those will be tendered at the same time, is that correct?
No, I think this is only for the outdoor amenities. The council building contract, I don't think
It's not up for tender as
Not
yet?
at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Stay up.
Oh, yeah, okay, where am I now?
Multi-purpose question centre down the bottom.
Oh yes, the multi-purpose equestrian centre.
This is yours, Alex.
Yeah, oh well, it's pointless spending an hour up here talking about it for you, Alex, but when do we proceed to start? A bit of anxiety around that there's no earthworks kicked off over there. Can I ask a firm start date at the racecourse precinct?
Through you, Madam Mayor. So I have done a schedule up for all of the projects listed in the report that will have milestones, which I can share with you. So that'll be for all the projects as a bit of a side note. But so we've had consultation out on site with the affected landowners or the tenants. They're getting relocated. We give them 2 weeks notice, which will be early May. Our plan is to start earthworks towards the end of May, so we'll be on site by the end of May.
Thank you.
Jake?
Yeah.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
Is the contract been signed yet, or is it still likely to be signed off?
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor. The negotiations, we've had really positive negotiations with Knight. The final list of clarifications, we're just tick-tacking back and forward, but we anticipate having a signed contract early May with them, which will give them plenty of time for procurement.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just thank you, Madam Mayor. The mayoral minute with the isolation of 7 blocks. Can you elaborate a little bit on that out at Goldridge Estate?
Yeah, there was a report to the last council meeting, and it's in relation to making sure that we keep an area that we could have childcare up there. So instead of just going ahead and not planning, it's about sort of having childcare that would connect up to the JRB, so you can have an integrated childcare centre there. So with advice from the directors, they've said, let's just isolate those. We haven't even bought them online, but we're just making sure that if we're not on council in 5 years' time, that they don't get built out, that there is that there for childcare.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
No worries. Okay, and you can stand up again, Councillor Gradiana.
Oh yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a query with the Australian Local Government Women's Conference. How are we going with ticket sales and costs on that at present? Sorry.
It's not really our. It's not our event. It's the Australian Local Government Women's Association event, and we're just doing it for them. And I have no idea about what those numbers may be. I have no idea.
Okay, am I allowed to ask, is there any cost to council with the?
Only if the female councillors want to go. I'm not sure what the wash
So
up
the
will be.
Fort Shire Council, there's no cost?
Yeah.
There's no cost for Fort Shire Council?
There's a budget allocation.
Yeah, we've had a budget allocation for it.
Yeah.
Oh, so we do have a fee for it?
Because what we're doing, we're showcasing our town across New South Wales.
So you don't know how many tickets have been sold?
No idea. But you can ring up any time and you can get that from our events people.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So would someone like to announce that my report has been withdrawn, which wasn't to do with this. Yes, thank you, Councillor Willis. It's been moved by Councillor Willis, seconded by Councillor Herbert. I'll put it, all those in favour, against, I declare carried. And I just want to say publicly that when we did the General Manager's performance review, there was absolutely unanimous support, knowing that we have made a great decision in the great work that our General Manager does. And on that note, I want to say thank you, Steve. So let's put our hands together for the great work that he does.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Councillors. It is a very humbling thing to sit through a performance review. It's something that causes introspective consideration about your life. You know, I'm not getting any younger, and about whether or not I want to retire. But I tell you what, dealing with people that I deal with every day, both councillors, council staff, members of the public, the inspiration I get, I know this might sound a bit, can I use the word wanky, but it might sound a bit that way, but the inspiration I get on a daily basis, I don't believe, you can't believe sometimes that you people pay me to come to work, because seriously, it's a pleasure to be here. The interaction I have with the Mayor is often very robust, as you might imagine. We're neither of us are shrinking violets, and I don't think we take a backward step. We should be on the coat of arms, actually, for that reason. But, you know, the other inspiration is to have, working with long-time colleagues, I think Janelle's been in council more than 30 years, and to have that depth of knowledge to be able to draw on. My absolutely wonderful backstop here in our money stuff, and you all call him the thief, in Stefan. What I watched Stefan do in such a short period of time, his enthusiasm and his energy is amazing. Richard is watching us on live stream. Hello, Richard. But he's deputy here in Mel. What an inspiration this young lady is. You know, one day she'll be in my chair, I can tell you. We've got Matt Teal, who is also a trainee that's come through the ranks and got to the highest echelon. And Matt, his energy just wears me out. He's like a little wind-up toy sometimes. He's in and out of my office and coming up with ideas and solving problems, whatever. And of course, we've talked about how wonderful it is to have Alex on board as well. And that's just me talking about the upper echelons of our staff. Tomorrow morning I'll go to the depot like I always do with the directors, and we'll talk to the staff. And some of you councillors have accompanied us on a regular basis to those things. And that's the opportunity for us to convey my performance review is their performance review. It's not just an outstanding thing on Steve Lane's point of view. It's about how the rest of the council go. And I can tell you that in the peerage and peer review that we have with our other councils around, and the Mayor will support this comment, we are the envy of Central New South Wales councils because of the way we get things done. All of our council staff that go and sit on committees and contribute to those committees, I get feedback all the time saying, you know, people like Carly J, fantastic, you know, people like Kylie Grayson, thank you. Those people go off and they represent council and they really come back with great accolades. So thank you very much for your confidence, and it's an absolute pleasure to serve you.
Thank you. Councillor Roylance, page
Madam Mayor,
60.
can I just, sorry, I just missed, on page 56, the purchase of drinking water, what?
Yeah. So, sorry, through you, Madam Mayor. Thanks, Brian. Sorry, sorry, I'm getting there. So we pay to Water New South Wales for water that we purchase, essentially, whether it's groundwater or from the river. Just so everyone's aware, we slightly changed our internal process. So it used to sort of go through without a purchase order, and we just used to pay. So things like Essential Energy and Water New South Wales just used to get paid when they come through. So when that bill comes... No, that's okay. So when that bill comes through, I now create a purchase order, and obviously it's over that 10 grand limit. But I can't go out and get other quotes because Water New South Wales is the only water supplier.
Thank you.
Councillor Rowland.
Thank you, Lady Mayor. Just on page 62, is it? 62 there. I just move that recommendation we have there.
It's been moved by Councillor Rowland, seconded by Councillor Herbert.
And just a question on the aviation fuel at the aerodrome. I said a big spike there in November for obvious reasons. That was during the flood time, and a bit of a drop off. But the question is, with the jet fuel, do we sell that to the air ambulance and the guys with the helicopters? Because I did notice that they've been travelling to another town to pick up their fuel.
Really?
Or do we need to talk to these guys?
Through Madam Mayor, my understanding is they were using our fuel, but we'll look into that if you feel that's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's all I need to ask. Thank you.
So do we note that? Thank you. Councillor Willis.
Yes, through Madam Mayor, I'd just like to move that recommendation, but I just have a question.
Second that.
Just a question in relation to clause 4.11. Look, it's a great council incentive. I think it's fantastic. But has there been issues to make this change, or is this just keeping up with legislation or changes? Why are we sort of making this this change?
Can you just tell me what change it is and read it to me?
Oh, sorry.
And tell me what you're
So,
talking about?
new clause, council must be able to complete the works within 12 months of the date of the agreement. So that's a new clause.
No, you're right.
To ensure council, anyway, it's here in front of you, so.
It's up to you, Sophie. I'll go then.
Go, Mel.
I'm just taking it. Through you, Madam Mayor, thanks for the question, Councillor Willis. So my understanding is that council have, so this is specifically really at the roads crew and also at the water and sewer crew who can actually install the works.
Yes.
There's been a lot of private works coming to council recently. So particularly the works team or the roads crew, it's really difficult for them to manage their workload at the moment, and we've been having to turn private customers away from council to do private works just so that we can fix the rest of the roads.
Yes.
So this clause was put in to basically say, well, council won't agree to doing the works ourselves if we can't commit to within 12
Thank you.
months.
That's great. Thank you. That's excellent. I thought that might have been the case, but I just want to
Now, I would like to move this for open discussion, if I could, if there's
Second
a
that.
seconder.
Yeah.
And seconded by Councillor Rowlands. Thank you, Councillor Rowlands. Any opposition? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare carried. There's a couple of things involved in this, and the 12-month work one is one of them, which I just wanted to point out. When a developer comes, our developer incentive policy has got us, our residential, has got us where we are today. It's been terribly important, and it's been exercised by many people, including myself. Now, there's a few things in here, and I've discussed this with our governance officer and the general manager, who now understand where I'm coming from with some of this. If Forbes Council and someone wants to defer their headworks charges and we can't do the work, if we aren't the ones doing the work, they can't defer them. So we have to have someone that can do that work, that will make this policy work, so that council bears the brunt of that cost of those headworks charges for the 2-year period. So that in itself, if we adopt that first bit, and I understand exactly what Mel's saying, we've got to be really mindful that if we start to get knockbacks and people can't do this residential, and let's be honest, mum and dad developers have kept us alive with their little subdivisions. So it's really important we get this right. I don't believe any of us have workshopped this properly yet. I don't believe that we've yarned to each other and know what works and what doesn't. I know that we have emotion on the books, but I also know that the 2 years from the date of registration of the subdivision certificate, the subdivision certificate's nothing. Even the big thing about the subdivision certificate is one of the conditions is about the headworks charges and the sewer and water and whatever have to be done. If someone's deferring it and they've got a subdivision, that's then got to go to the titles office. I'm telling you, it took 5 years for me to get mine over the line, because we do have some difficulties with surveying and doing things in this town. So I think the 2 years should commence, and I think we need to talk about this more so we all understand, should commence after the title's been registered. But in doing that, for the subdivision to be approved, we need those people to sign an agreement with council that they will pay for those headworks charges, blah, blah, blah. So there's two-pronged process that we need to make this continue to work. So my idea to you, and I know we're in open discussion, is that I think a deferment of this so we can go line by line. This is one of those line by lines. We've had this for a long time. There's a lot of, intellectual grunt in the room now, new directors. We need to get this right. So my advice to you is that we do defer this item and we workshop it at one of our committee meetings. But anyway, the floor's open for any contribute to that. Would someone like to move that we go back into council?
Well, actually, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to workshop that and also go back into council.
Right, we'll move back into council. Thanks, Councillor Royland. Seconded, Councillor Matisky. I'll put it, all those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, I declare it carried. We have a mover and a seconder with a motion on the books. Would you like to withdraw that and change your motion?
Yes. I'm happy to, because there's other points like 4.21 and 4.21.
So, Councillor Willis, were you happy to withdraw?
So I'd like
to. We need to withdraw the motion first.
I'd like to withdraw that recommendation.
Councillor Roylance, are you in agreement
Absolutely.
with that? Right. That's gone. So could we flick that? Now, would you like to move?
And I'd like to move that I'd like to move that 18.6 that we move it to a later meeting and work on it.
We move it to a workshop.
To a workshop.
And make sure that we have 100% councillors at that workshop.
Second that.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councillor Willis, seconded by Councillor Roylance. Is there any opposition to that? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, I declare it carried. Councillor Claudiano.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll move the motion. Could somebody just elaborate?
Yes, it's been moved by Councillor
Happy to second
Claudiano,
that.
seconded by Councillor Rollins. Floor's yours.
Could somebody just elaborate to me with the credit card policy in layman's terms? Just a bit of an overview. Is that all
Yes,
right?
through you, Madam Mayor, I'm more than happy to do that. So,
Thank you.
obviously,
Shortly and quickly.
Shortly and quickly. Okay, so it's basically the same credit card policy we had before. There's one addition. What previously would happen, you'd have a conference and we have quite low credit card limits for certain credit card holders, and people would sort of spend up big. Say, for example, I'm not going to
Overspend.
anyone, not overspend, but if there are certain things where booking of hotels, booking of certain conference fees, etc., that you have to do by a credit card. That's done by a credit card, and that means they might have a $2,000 credit limit. If that credit limit is passed during the month, under the previous policy, you'd have to wait to the end of the month before you rolled over that $2,000 limit. What we're saying here, in the maybe once every 2 or 3 years that this would happen, that we allow council's finance team to sort of recharge that credit card, so that person doesn't go out and they've got a zero credit card limit.
As needed?
As needed, exactly. Yeah. So it'd be very, very rare. It'd be once every two years or so potentially, but at least we've got that in our credit card policy, and if we have to actually do that, when we are actually in adherence with our credit card policy. This is something the auditors pay a lot of attention to.
Yeah. And the reason that we're doing it this way, Councillor Claudiano, conferences have been booked on my credit card, which I rarely use.
Yeah.
And I've gone away and I've been with councillors and I've tried to use the credit card to check out and it's declined.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's an embarrassment to me and the Forbes Council. I said I did not want the limit increased, so this was the other fallback position, that they know what they're putting on my credit card or on the boss's credit card, and so they just know when we've got to go away with all you guys that they'll pay that extra money. So it's pretty good actually.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
No worries. Even stay up.
I'm just going to flick through.
Volunteer policy.
Yeah, the volunteer policy. Again, can somebody give me a little bit of a layman's terms on that? Just a quickie. Yeah.
Like a jack in the box today, sorry about that. Through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, the volunteer policy. This is basically putting in writing what our practice has been to date. Obviously, we do occasionally have volunteers that work for council. We previously have certain practices that we implement. Because this is volunteers are sort of outward facing and it's a strategic part of what council does as an organisation, we've tried to, I guess, document our policy for volunteers. So it details certain WHS requirements, the different types of volunteers we have, and it's just basically putting in writing our current practices.
So basically what would happen if I was to start a little group up and we said, we want to voluntarily mow section of town?
You'd have to come to council. This here would basically tell you how volunteers are chosen. You come to council, you talk to the relevant manager. There'll be WHS requirements would have to go through. If you had 50 people coming in to mow for council, that would probably be different. You'd have to be inducted, which is part of this policy as well. But if you want to, by all means, come and talk to us.
Okay,
Here's the
thank
policy that you would be
I've only
managed
got
under
the
this
one mower
policy.
at the moment, but thanks for the overview.
Can I just ask a question
Yes.
about the policy? 4.3.5, volunteers who are members of council section 355 committees are required to submit an annual return of interest. Can you just explain what that is?
Okay, this probably won't apply for very few people. There are under certain circumstances, if you may be required to basically submit an annual return of interest, because that would only be in a 355 committee that is sort of delegated the power to spend, is my understanding. So that will very rarely happen. So if
You know how
go-
we do our persons of interest
Yes.
Yeah.
statement? We do that every year.
So if there was a certain 355 committee, I don't think we have any. My understanding is we don't have any of this nature at this point in time. But if in future we were to do that, certain people within that committee may be required
Because
to do that.
355s are subject to audit.
But also 355s, it's the same as being in this council chamber, and we put up, every meeting we have, we ask everyone to put their conflicts of interest up.
Yep.
That's the opportunity for those people who are members of our committees to say, well, look, I'm good mates with Joe Bloggs and they're on the thing today. So it's a bit different. We're elected members, they're volunteers. So there is a bit of a difference, and we just have to make sure that we are doing the right thing by making sure we've got conflicts written up into the minutes of our 355s of those volunteer people. Okay. Councillor Webb.
I'd like to move the recommendation.
It's been moved by Councillor Webb. Is there a
Second
seconder? Seconded Councillor Rowlands.
I'd just like to bring to point the clause 4.3.2. It's basically saying that only individuals located in the Forbes LGA can use this portable water, but I'd like council to be sympathetic to some of our community members that may be not in our LGA as such, but actually live in our community, like Coronella people. They're not really in our LGA, but they actually support and use Forbes as their town. So I'm sure there's other people out there as well. I'm not quite sure whether that is done or not.
I suppose through you, Madam Mayor, Councillor Webb, thanks for the question. Each person would be assessed on a per person basis, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, I'll put that. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, I declare it carried. Stand up again, Councillor Webb.
Yes, I've just been going through.
Community enhancement projects.
Yes. Can I just go into open discussion?
Yes,
please?
it's been moved by Councillor Webb to go into open discussion, seconded by Councillor Matisky. I'll put it, all those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. And I'll just let you know, we workshopped this at
We did.
the meeting that you...
We did. We did workshop it. Just two questions, if I may.
Yes.
So with the community enhancement project, this page 17, we've got the road access priorities. I don't see. We did a motion that 17 and 21 mile is a priority, but I only see 21 mile. We also mentioned the aerodrome, road access to the aerodrome, and I don't see that in that road access priority flood.
Through Madam Mayor, I believe the aerodrome was actually somewhere else in
Oh, radio.
Aerodrome Road.
It's definitely,
Yep,
it's
so
under
that's
aerodrome.
Page 3.
Sorry.
It's
That's
under
in page 3.
aerodrome.
No problems. I just saw the transport asset and saw that.
So
missing.
page 3, yes, it was there. If you referring back to the flood items, yeah, it actually only does this 21 mile.
Yes.
These were the flood betterment priorities that were submitted to the state government that we've been lobbying for. If you wish to adjust that to 21 mile and maybe add 17 mile
Well,
underneath
it's
that,
a
or
motion
include
that
it.
we actually
We've already
put
put it
as
in
a
place.
priority,
Yeah.
17
Alright.
and 21 mile.
We're in your hands if you want us to change that to 21 mile and 17 mile, or add 17 mile just under 21 mile.
I think 17 and 21.
Okay, done.
The other thing is, I don't see the ag strategy in here.
True, Madam Mayor, we did have one or two items in the ag strategy in there from memory.
But we don't have it under ag strategy because I thought in the old one, the one that you gave us,
Yep.
you actually had ag strategy as a title with nothing underneath it. Am I missing the page?
Through you, Madam Mayor, no. We've actually, as this is grouped by asset class, anything from the ag strategy that's in here, we've grouped under their relevant asset class. So if you look here, CWIP marketing prospectus, that's from the 2018 ag strategy, and there are a few other capital items in there.
So you've spread it out, whereas
Yes.
the one that we were given originally, you
Would have had just ag
you
strategy.
Had just ag strategy.
Exactly, exactly. We don't have many ag strategy items in this document because a lot of them weren't capital projects.
No problems. It's just when you got addition of ag strategy, I just assumed it would be under the
No.
banner. I'd like to move go back into.
We'll just check whether anyone else wants to.
Sorry.
Does anyone else want anything?
No, all
You
good.
certainly can,
Thanks,
Councillor
Jen,
Webb.
that was good.
Been moved by Councillor Webb to go back into council, seconded by Councillor Matisky. I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried.
And I would like to now move the recommendation.
It's been moved by Councillor Webb,
And
seconded
second it.
by Councillor Roylance. I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. So, for instance, 21 miles on here at 1.8 million. You will just put underneath it 17 mile, and then you'll put an indicative figure. Yeah.
And through Madam Mayor, they're plus minus 40%
Yeah,
cost
yeah.
estimates. We'll be getting better cost estimates in future.
Thank you, Councillor Herbert.
Yep. I'll move the recommendation.
It's been moved by Councillor Herbert.
And seconded.
Seconded by Councillor Roylance.
I just wanted to ask you a question. There's a statement in there, a councillor representative will also be invited to attend meetings quarterly. Is that someone we need to nominate for that committee, or is it just someone gets invited each quarter?
Through you, Madam Mayor, we're in your hands. So there's two options, I guess. We could probably nominate somebody now, or we could allow the committee to maybe nominate somebody. I'm not sure.
I'd like to move that we nominate Michelle Herbert. Is there a seconder to
Second
that?
Okay. I was actually going to nominate Aidan.
Part of it.
Yeah, Aidan, yeah.
Do you want to go, Aidan? or
I
Michelle?
decline because I'd like to
Yeah.
nominate
Oh,
Aidan.
you've got time,
Yeah, because
though.
I'm at a meeting.
Yeah.
Just community thing.
I was a bit worried about you having a baby.
Nah, that's okay. All good.
What we will do,
We can
so
move.
what we'll do, we've got the motion, we'll add to the motion that we nominate Councillor Clark as our councillor rep and Councillor Herbert as the alternate. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I think that's
Everyone's good with that? So, who's going to move that?
Yeah, I'll move it.
Oh, thanks, Councillor Padiana. Seconded, Councillor Willis. Any opposition? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. I love our pictures. Councillor Duggan.
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor, a number of items through here. On page 129, the water fountains in the lake. We did a great job when we first installed those water fountains that went really nice and high, and I believe that they then got modified to very little complaint from the community, and since then they've been performing very poorly, so to say. We've been told that there's things to be fixed on it and that, so we get back to the original nice white high fountain. Where are we with that? I'm getting a lot of questions asked about that. Where we're at.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor, Councillor Duggan. Yes, I am aware of the fountain situation. These have been delivered, or the improvements to these have been delivered under the Public Space Legacy funding, the $2 million we got for our excellent development assessment timeframes.
Yeah.
So and I'm not sure the page numbers are different for you guys, but on page 132 for us, but yours, yes, on that one there, that one. At the top of that, 129. On the top of 129, in that table, two new fountains in Lake Falls will replace the three existing fountains. So there's a super-sized one that's coming to Johnny Woods' Crossing, is the short answer. So that one is going to be very impressive. You'll see it from Oxley Bridge. And Nell has the information right there actually. It'll be in the order of about 11 metres high. So it will make a massive statement. And the idea is to use that, not to look too garish. It'll be lit with the lighting. It'll be on a timer so it doesn't annoy anybody. It'll be on during daylight hours, close off at appropriate nighttime hours, not too late. And the pump is a high quality pump. It won't use a lot of energy for the output. but it also will provide high droplets, so it means it aerates the water. So from an environmental point of view, it gets good water quality. So you will see that in the not too distant future.
So the two that are down the Oxley Bridge, I just want to ask this, Mark, Councillor Duggan, I should say. They're like pimples on a pumpkin. Are we keeping them? They're terrible.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we are, but so it's all about where the power is. So
yeah, the power's there. We're better off not having those terrible little low. I know it's good for the water quality because it's aerating it, but they're a poor excuse for a fountain.
That's in Cape Street.
we have
Yeah.
Street Bridge, they're terrible.
Terrible.
We have been working on that, and the theory
Bigger
is.
pump.
Well, the theory is we actually have looked at that to buy bigger pumps to try and you basically have to rebuild those fountains if you were going to make them bigger.
We have to upgrade the power.
Yes, and you have to upgrade the power. But what we are looking at is clustering them together, so making them more of a feature.
Well,
of
how
that.
come we had the big tall ones before that and they worked, and now we've got these ones that don't?
So they were different.
Same power.
Different motors.
So we're going to 3-phase or single phase?
Yeah, I'm not.
3-phase
I don't. To be honest, I don't.
for Oxley Bridge.
I'm not sure.
And will the jets be big? And will the jets, or do we change the jets?
So
We
the
did
old,
that.
So the old
Hasn't worked.
a lot of the intricacies in this stuff is about the depth of water because the inlet has to have enough water depth to be able to get the magnitude of water into it without drawing up all the silt. So that's the thing that we've been challenging. Has been challenging in the past. That's why the old pumps clapped out.
But through the flood, they were through the drought. They worked very well, and they were very high. And people were whinging about the water being so high they were getting wet.
Yes,
So
correct.
I just think we need to get them sorted.
Yeah, so we are. The reason why they were often on the blink because those former ones that you speak of, Madam Mayor, they were often blown up because it was drawing too much.
Pulling the mud up.
Yes, exactly. Blowing the motors up. So it just wasn't financially sustainable to keep those ones there.
So those new ones, the new U-Butte ones, that are nice and high and a white light are going to be here when? But the distant future can always be a bit too long for me at times.
No, that's fair enough. I understand that they've been ordered. They have. No, okay.
She just went like that.
No, that's it.
May I just
Yeah, go for
comment?
it.
We're only, so just so everyone's clear, we're only ordering one of the new fountain. So
We've got that. We
yeah.
don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where we're up to, my understanding is we're getting these. I don't know, you probably can't see
No, I
them.
haven't seen it.
But yep, it's very exciting. It'll be 11 metres high and 28 metres out, so very big statement. We're looking, at the moment we're only looking at getting one, and that will add to the existing fountains there. So happy to change, it hasn't been ordered yet.
I'd order it.
We will order it. Basically, we only just got the quotes back from. We went out to RFQ. We've only just received the quotes back. That's why it hasn't been ordered yet. So it should get ordered next week. Yeah.
Are we allowed to know how much it'll cost fitted?
You can know, but I don't know, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Just
It's in the
where-
order of $50,000
$50,000.
for one fountain in the order of $50,000.
Cheap.
Not so much.
Is that coming out of the lake activation
Okay.
plan money?
So it's coming out of the public space legacy
Yeah.
funding money.
That's-
Yes, the $2 million.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Money that we was such a good council and got.
Yep.
I think you've got the message that we do want to see a little bit.
We'll have a look at that one.
So, Margaret, are you going to move the recommendations for this report? Or?
Sorry, I should have done that
I
initially.
appreciate
I
that.
was
Thanks, Mark.
wrong again.
It's been moved by
Seconded.
Councillor Duggan, seconded by Councillor Rodriguez. I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, aye, carried. Councillor Caradiana.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a real quickie. Can you give me again just an overview of this policy, please? Just
Through you, Madam Mayor. Basically, this policy is so. I
Sure.
would say it very, very simply.
Like
Most
it.
houses are on gravity, so when you flush the toilet, it's a gravity system. So no power, no nothing, it just takes it away. Because Forbes is very, very flat, gravity cannot service the entire area of Forbes. So there are some areas, mostly Land Race Estate, that whole precinct up there, but others, and River Road as well, but other areas in town too flat, so gravity won't work. So to sewer those areas and to increase development, we put in low pressure sewer. So this policy basically just formalises that process. There's nothing really about this process that changes what we do already, but we get a lot of questions from people saying, hey, what is low pressure sewer? What does it mean? What does it mean for me? So this is kind of actually for information for customers and also just to standardise our process.
Thank you.
Stay.
Oh, okay. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Page 164.
Yeah, the employment zone strategy, it's another one that I've sort of, could somebody give me a little bit of a overview on that?
Through you, Madam Mayor, Councillor Caradiana, I'm your somebody, mate. Short, yes. I'll make it very short. Plenty is always very short. So this is a state government strategy. It's basically saying that we need to, in line with the state strategy, we need to redefine our employment zones. So what you would know employment zones as industrial land zones, commercial land zones. Any zone that you can generate an income or a revenue off by operating something, business. So this is basically harmonising with the strategy the state government's put out, and it's us looking at our existing LEP, our land use zoning, and saying, where is our existing commercial industrial land? Where do we think we're going to grow it into the future? And just
adding it.
Yeah, and your LSPS is the document that sort of backs that up by saying this is the 20-year vision of where this stuff should go.
Certain growth areas for different businesses and so on.
Fundamentally, the final thing with that one is that it picks up, which the LSPS didn't pick up previously, was the former Lockley estate, because obviously there's a planning proposal there now to activate that site. So it includes that and bringing that land online.
You happy to move it?
Yeah, I'll move
Been moved by Councillor Caradiana, seconded by Councillor Willis. I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried.
Can I just say on that there, I'd just like to congratulate the author of that too, and it just shows that Forbes Shire Council, as the General Manager said there earlier, they've reached a level of maturity that other councils are really jealous of. I can see that. And in that little 5 line items there, that's quite amazing there. And the bottom one there, number 5, it really states that the Forbes Aerodrome is just so underutilised. Our infrastructure needs to have some work done. I think you might have been the author when I read this. But yeah, congratulations, very good. And we really need to do some work on that aerodrome.
Thanks, Councillor Roylance. Councillor Caradiana, pop up again.
Yeah, it's just that housing strategy, just another quick overview, please.
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor.
We might move the motion. Yeah,
please.
thank you. It's been moved by Councillor Caradiana, seconded by Councillor Herbert.
So, Councillor Caradiana, basically the housing strategy was in draft form. We've been out for consultation a couple of times. It was punctuated by the floods of last year. This is all about the future of residential land in Forbes, the expansion. So, as we all know, Forbes floods. There's a limited opportunity for residential land intensification to the southeast, the south and the southwest.
Yes.
So our growth area is really the north and the northwest.
Yes.
So this document sets up strategically where the engineers need to consider the extension of their water and sewer main networks, Essential Energy, where they extend their energy connections, natural gas, things like that. So importantly, this is the document that will tell you how Forbes will grow over the next 20 years.
Or where it'll grow to.
And where it will grow.
And be able to, purchase blocks of land within an area that will fit in with sewage and water and so on.
Absolutely. It's a key, Madam Mayor, it's a key and fundamental piece to the future sustainability of Forbes to be able to provide good quality and well-planned housing stocks into the future.
So when we put a gateway through, we've got this housing strategy, and if it's in line with it, we'll put a gateway through to planning and we'll get that gateway up.
Yes.
And it'll be a much more simpler process. It's supposed to be. I know I'm going to eat my words in a minute, but it should be a much more simpler process on getting those kind of planning processes up.
It'd be like putting a jigsaw back together, wouldn't it?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Webb.
I'd like to move the recommendation.
It's been moved by Councillor Webb, seconded by Councillor Roylance.
Sorry, Matt. Through you, Madam Mayor, to the Director of Planning. So,
we have here, so we've got the local strategic planning statement, but then you've got here our priorities that we've got in front of us. So these are things that we're planning to do in the future. So where do we get those keynotes from? Because let's see here, you talk about health and education, but you only collaborate with New South Wales Health and New South Wales TAC. I don't see where education comes into that play and why health is just New South Wales Health. So I'm just wondering, is there anywhere that we can expand on these things, or is it set in place because of our strategic plan?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Webb, it is a good question. This is the time that if you want to include something additional or extra, then you do that now. So if you want us to modify or change that, it's like what Stephen says, we're in your hands. This is it's a 5-year review. It's a couple of year review into the local strategic planning statement. So what we are telling you is what we have delivered over the last couple of years, consistent with the LSPS, what things we want to change or modify, but it's also a chance for you to say, well, we think this is important, or put this in there as well. So there's been, back a few years ago, there was some significant community consultation with the LSPS.
Yes.
But I take the point completely that time marches on, things do change, and if there's something we haven't recognised, then this is your chance to add or change that and modify it how you will.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. Councillor Coradiano.
Yeah, just, thank you, Madam Mayor, just, I'll move the motion. Just a
Moved
quick,
by Councillor Coradiano, seconded by Councillor Willis.
just another quick one with the forestry land planning proposal. Could you please just give us another little bit of an overview on what you're planning, what the plans is there, please?
Yeah, certainly. Through you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Coradiano, this is a planning proposal. So what the Mayor spoke a minute ago about gateway.
Yep.
So a gateway process is when you put a planning proposal into the Department of Planning. Department of Planning, the state agency, have a very strong control over planning proposals if you want to change the local planning scheme, so the local environmental planning policy.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, at the moment, the land use zoning of the community gardens, the former forestry site, is the forestry zone. The forestry zone is very restrictive as to what you can do on the land, because I guess it's a hangover from the old days when it was the Forestry Commission manager's residence and nursery. So what we're saying is we should change the land use zone to better reflect what goes on in the land at the moment. So where the house is that council obviously owns,
Council one,
change that to residential land.
Yeah.
And then the residual amount, so on the map there it says number 2, number 1 and number 4. So 2 is the community gardens, 1's the urban forest, which was the old forestry nursery and tree stock area. And 4 is the current Forestry Commission depot where they occupy. We have a lease arrangement with them or a licence arrangement with them. So 2, 1 and 4 will revert back to public recreation basically, I think is what we, RE1 public recreation. So it better reflects what the use of the land is. The community gardens is the primary function down there. They have that urban forest that they
So it'll
use.
remain that until somewhere into the future.
Well, it better suits, the land use zone better reflects the community gardens as an RE1 than it did in forestry, if that makes sense. So what we're really doing
Plus
here...
we've got a residential block of it as well.
That's right. If council chooses to do that,
We
that's
definitely need that residential block off.
Yeah. So that would allow a subdivision of that lot of land to do whatever council chooses to.
Yeah, and the house.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other speakers? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, I declare it carried. Councillor Matisky, do
Madam Mayor,
you want to move the recommendation?
No, I think I'd like to withdraw it at the moment because the flood map here is 2020. We've got more recent flood maps of 2022. And the Department of Environment are concerned about the flood risk in this area. And I think it needs to rehashed again and come back. So I'd like to withdraw that. If I can have a second.
I think what we might do, because I know you'd be worried about this. I wouldn't worry about the 20 map. this is taking away any development at all in that area, isn't it, really? This is what this recommendation, if you want to speak to it, Matt, now, you've got this much.
Okay, you ding me when you're ready.
All right, I'll get around.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. So Councillor Matisky, fundamentally, again, this is a gateway process. So this is a planning proposal. It's looking to change the planning scheme for Forbes Council. So what that's saying to you is that we are proposing, or the report proposes, to change the old 1986 LEP. At the moment, this
stood out.
Yeah, this land is operating under the 86 LEP. It hasn't been brought into the 2013 LEP. So at the moment, it's operating under 40 hectares and what was the old R1 rural land use zone. It's causing problems in as far as it doesn't speak to the new planning scheme. But what happened previously was previous council asked the professionals to consider a planning proposal to reduce the lot size for this land. And that planning proposal basically hasn't got up because Department of Planning have said the land is too flood liable. So because they would never determine the previous planning proposal, and after the 2022 flooding events, our recommendation is that you still do a planning proposal, but you basically bring this zone into line with the rest of the RU1 zone. So it means that it's RU1 primary production under the 2013 LEP, but it has a minimum lot size of 40 hectares. As the Mayor has said, that will limit any development or subdivision less than that. But it's unlikely the Department of Planning would support that in any case. Well, that's what they've told us. We've had some preliminary discussions with them.
So this is in line with what they're going to accept.
Yeah, I just thought we'd need to bring it up to date with the 2022 flood map. This is the Department of Planning and Environment concerned about the flood risk in that area.
Yeah.
It could come back to us.
It'll only be worse. It won't be. It'll be worse.
But I think.
Yeah, but this will then, once we get the planning proposal up, it'll go through all of our floodplain management committee. It'll have all of those requirements of that, won't it, Matt?
That'll come later.
So it'll come later. This is about getting it up onto our LEP
The start of the
as
process.
it is from 2000.
Yeah, I just thought it'd have to have relevant information on it.
So importantly, the most recent flood study that was done, it was around the time of the 2016 flood. And in fact, the consultants were out here that were taking levels and things had to stop for a few weeks when that flood event was on, because that's the time they were doing it. So all the data was gathered in the 2016 event, but it doesn't. See, the thing is, the flood study doesn't reflect the 2016 flood because it reflects the 1% flood. So based on the 1952 flood event. So 16, 20, 22, 21, 22, they were all floods. Well, some are much less than 52 or the 1% flood, and some were a little bit less. Like the late November one in town
22.
certainly was probably at or around the 1990. In some areas, well exceeded the 1990 flood. So the flood study is the thing that we're working on, not necessarily a yearly event.
Yeah,
So-
because there's been a lot of controversy with it about where the flood water's
That's right.
been, where it hasn't been. Some saying, we get flooded, others don't. As long as it doesn't come back to bite us on the backside, that's all that's worrying me.
Well, this is following what the state government is saying for us to do. This is good planning.
All right, I'll move to
Good idea.
Yeah, one
I'll second that.
Now, I want you all to note that. He's won him over. Good on you, Brian. Been moved by Councillor Matisky, seconded by Councillor Rawlings. I'll put it all those in favour, say aye. Against, I declare it carried. Now, would someone, no, we didn't withdraw that, thank goodness. Councillor Herbert?
Oh, yes, I'll move the motion.
It's been moved by Councillor Herbert, is there a seconder?
I just
Seconded
wanted to-
by Councillor Willis, sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask a question about all future development in town with the electricity. Where there's sort of old infrastructure, does that get upgraded to underground power lines, or is it only in brand new developments that would get underground power lines?
I'm going to answer this because we had a meeting with Essential Energy yesterday. They had not invested in their infrastructure for so long, and what they've done, they've got mum and dad developers and small developers have been doing all of their infrastructure for them. They're guys that design the work, over design so that it's not just for that development to do another 20. So we have now just got some goodwill from them that they're going to start to work with us and they're going to have a forward plan. Their hands have been tied under the regulator where they've had to do what they've been doing. We've been fighting with them for a long time about what they're doing. We cannot force them to put anything underground. We can encourage it for all we're worth. But I think watch this space and you will see some changes. We got some really good contacts at our meeting yesterday. Were you there? No. Alex was, and there's a goodwill to change the way they're doing business. So the general manager and I will keep our eye on it because we very often I ring the boss of Essential Energy when I'm having a terrible time with a mum and dad developer, and we seem to be able to work it out. But as far as going underground, we haven't got no say over that.
Certainly not for existing.
No. With the new stuff, we can start to put some things on. But what we're going to do, Alex is going to give them our forward plan of all of our projects that we've got. They're going to look at that and know what our needs are going to be. They're going to start to incorporate that into their business plan as well. That's right, aren't they, Alex? So it's going to be more of a partnership than us renewing all of their assets. So it's going to get better.
Yeah, good.
Really going to get better.
Can I just ask?
Curious.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question as well on that paper? Look, thank you. It's a great report. I had a question. When we did our visit out to the Lachlan Vintage Village on page 229, just the counter there wasn't sort of disability friendly, and that has been noted to be reviewed or addressed, has it?
Yep. Yes, through you, Madam Mayor. The counter, we're reviewing the design of that and we'll action it. I guess the resources at the moment are tied up
absolutely, but
down to the heated pool and we've got a works to go list. We'll work through and I'll share that with you.
Can I actually ask with that, because I sort of was a bit disappointed with that. When you do that, can we, even if we pop out on site to have a look at it, because just looking at other information centres, I think we need a much more welcoming entry into that instead of we're not here sort of look. So that's, I think, if we can just sort of have a few of us have a look at that too quickly. Whilst we're on this section too, can I also ask, Temple Street beautification, I think there's one lot of seats to come in, the final lot, is that correct? Is that near the dentist area or exactly where is that located? So can someone tell me?
Through you, Madam Mayor. So yesterday, myself and Stephen Cook went down to Cowans to have a look at the fabrication. There's two that'll be ready by Friday. They'll get located down corner of Temple Street and...
Made on Fridays.
Rankin.
Rankin, sorry.
Made on Fridays, I thought the seats were going in front of that.
Sorry?
Not made on Fridays, sorry, the...
Dentist.
What's the other one up in the other corner?
The dentist.
No, up the top on Lachlan Street.
Gallery. No, it's made on Fridays, I'm sure.
No, it was the old art.
Anyway,
the old arts.
one of the corners.
I just want to know when we finish in Temple Street, when we can actually sign it off, that the last things that are going in there are going to be finished, because Alex, you may not be aware, but this has been like pulling teeth, getting everything done in Temple. And obviously with some really good reasons why it's been delayed, other things perhaps, not so. So I suppose within the businesses within the CBD, just want it finished so it can be signed off on, and then we can also look at further. So that's really what my question is here, because every time I mark in something, it's getting delayed further. That was one thing that I wanted to bring up with this. Pit stop we've already discussed, which I'm happy with too. Heated pool I brought up, it's already been discussed too. Homemakers rebuild, we've already gone there, and also the Limes Park container, we've also discussed that. They were just a number of things that I wanted an update on. So just with the VIC, if we can have a little bit of a look out there.
I think with the VIC, Councillor Duggan's one of the people I think that's on that committee. And there's two councillors and myself. Unless you're all desperate to go and have a look at where they chopped that down, so a poor person in a wheelchair can actually see someone. I think, you know, there's just get a couple of us to have a look at it, and
Yeah.
especially Councillor Duggan
Yeah, yeah.
and Councillor Herbert. They're very, and I'm happy to go and look anytime.
Yeah, so we did like I mentioned, we did a works to go list out there on Monday. So as we work through that scheduling of resources and everything, we'll get timing for when we can go through that.
That'd be great, thanks Alex.
In regards to the Templar Street items, so looking down there yesterday at where the status of the fabrication is, the table in there is accurate, I believe, for what we will receive. So by the 5th of May and week ending 5th of May, we will have all the seats and rails.
I'll bring a beer.
Five to go. 5 around.
Good.
Isn't that alcohol free zone?
Well, it won't be then when we finish it. Thanks, that's great.
Okay, I'm going to put the
Can I
motion.
have one question,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah.
I'm going to get rolled again. Is there any need for a culvert to go under the road into the heated pool parking area?
Yes, so through you, Madam Mayor, we've had some design reviews internally around the car park. So there was a pavement design for the heated pool car park with gravels and seal. After a bit of a cost analysis review and also constructability review, it's actually will fall out to be cheaper to build in concrete. So it's going to be a concrete car park, which I think is a really good outcome because it's a high flood prone level area as well, so that's going to wear better, more durable, and also it's going to have less impact for haulage because we're not having to box out so much. There's an existing culvert that runs through the pool area and then out, and that's all integrated into the design, so all the water will drain through. There's a grate at the front where the layback will go for the driveway, so all water should report to the existing grate.
Yeah. You didn't get rolled. It's good. You've done well.
The day isn't over.
Okay, I'm going to put that. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. Let's give Alex a big clap for his Very good. Very good. Okay, moving on. Are we up to you? Councillor Herbert?
No, I think I already did mine.
No,
I didn't.
no,
I didn't.
Oh, no, she didn't. No, we jumped over that like quick as that is.
But I would like to congratulate our heritage advisor on the great report that he did.
Yeah,
Graham, yeah.
Yeah, it was riveting to read. Over to you, to the General Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and as always, it's a great pleasure on the back of my speech before. I'll start off with a loose leaf that you don't have in your document. And it's an email that came in yesterday. And it's from Robert Britt from Bristol Proprietary Limited. They're the people who, Lockley Estate, that are doing the work for the old abattoirs and turning that into something magical. Hi, Eliza and Bill. And the Bill he refers to here is Bill Loader, who is his architect. I think it's more congratulations to Forbes Shire Council, and particularly you and Matt as well. You two have done an exceptional effort with Bill to gain this terrific milestone. As the founder and managing director on behalf of our Bristol Industries team, I would like to thank you for the terrific achievement, this terrific achievement. It would not have been possible without your indeed dedicated involvement. So thank you through to Madam Mayor. I look forward to catching you soon. I note I'm currently overseas and back on Sunday the 23rd of April, and then away overseas again on Sunday the 30th of April. Our son has been selected in the Australian men's 8 rowing team to race in the USA. Thanks again and congratulations to all involved. Cheers. Kind regards, Rob. That's always good to hear, but I think it sort of sets the tone for everything that's happening in our development. John Ridley via email. At your next meeting of Forbes Shire Council, please pass on my congratulations to all involved with the restoration of the town Olympic pool following the flood to swimmers and swimming use standard. I saw the deep mud in the pool from the outside and pushed over pool fence some weeks after the flood. It was, I know, a lot of work. Please also thank council staff and the pool managers and staff for great management and our tour of the town pool over this summer and autumn. The pool was always very, very clean. Pool staff were always very helpful and very competent in exercising their responsibilities. Thank you again. Cheryl Barton from the Forbes Family History Group, on behalf of our committee, I'm writing to thank Council for arranging to change the name of Dowling Lane back to its original name of Brewery Lane. Mark Lamb, Chief Executive Officer of Murray-Darling Association, to Mayor Phyllis Miller. The Murray-Darling Association would like to thank you for your efforts and dedication in the role of Region 10 Chair. Throughout your tenure as Region 10 Chair, you have tirelessly supported the Murray-Darling Association with your insight into the Northern Basin, its community engagement opportunities and the impacts of water management and natural disasters on the region's community and industries, as well as your determination to ensure a balanced voice for the basin communities. On behalf of the Murray-Darling Association, I wish you all the very best in your future endeavours and look forward to keeping in touch with you regarding advocacy on behalf of the Murray-Darling Basin. Barry and Wendy Hawthorne, we're writing to thank you, Steve Lane, for the prompt action in response to our email regarding the condition of Hill 60 Road. The remedial work carried out today is excellent. Please pass on our thanks to Andrew Rousel and others involved, and I'll certainly do that tomorrow morning at the depot. Ali Plummer via Facebook, I want to say a huge thumbs up to Forbes Shire Council. We're in big trouble with our house that is the reception of our business. Our sewers were fully blocked and we tried our plumber plus another sewer bore out service. We're at our wits' end after 3 days. The council stepped up, very nice, 3 very nice men. Martin Tonks from St Vincent de Paul contacted Eliza Noakes to express thanks for the work Eliza and Dan Spear undertook to assist in the relocation of charity bins after the floods. They stated their appreciation for their generous support. Vinnie Shop of Forbes, your community spirit is very much appreciated. Lily Cantwell, Mayor in Training from Bidgerra Public School, that's really sweet. Thank you very much for letting us visit. It was an honour to come and see how the council works. I learnt so much about the workings of the Shire, what you do for the town when you have meetings and so much more. We all love coming to see the council chambers and learning what you do, and there's a lot more in that letter. Forbes Sports Person of the Year Association. The Forbes Sports Person of the Year Association would like to thank you very much for your generous support in the 2022 annual awards presentation. The 2022 awards marked our 48th anniversary, and our association would not survive without the generous support of the businesses such as yours. Dr. Kerry Chant, OA PSM for New South Wales Health. I'm writing to thank your organisation for the commitment of New South Wales Sewage Surveillance Program. I appreciate the hard work of your staff and their contribution for COVID-19 response. The New South Wales Sewage Surveillance Program, which commenced in regional New South Wales in 2020, was rapidly developed to enhance the surveillance of COVID-19 infections. Forbes Learning Ladder. On behalf of the Forbes Childcare Centre, we would like to thank Kylie Grayson and Rebecca Kennedy for assisting our organisation in being the returning officers for the annual general meeting held earlier this month. Kylie and Rebecca were very understanding and assisted in any way they could. There you go.
Thank you very much. Would someone like to move that? Been moved by Councillor Rowland, seconded by Councillor Willis. I'll put it. All those in favour say aye. Against, I declare it carried. Is there any comments or questions in our part 1 of our business paper?
I just had a comment here. I just
a comment? No, we
oh no,
a
sorry.
question.
Oh, question. No, it's not a question. I just wanted to I meant to do it when Margie was speaking about I think it was 18.2 and 19.2, just about thanking staff.
About
okay. I just wanted to thank the staff because they, the engineering department, they followed up some constituents' inquiries, and I just wanted to thank the Mel Slimming for following up the constituents' queries and answering them.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Regarding Nurse Stokes Park and Lake Forbes. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, everyone. Now there is a photo right now what we're going to do, we're going to go out there like really quickly, come back in, grab yourself a cup of tea, and we have to get underway. I have to leave at 4:30, and I would really like to do some of the business in part two. So would someone like to move that we adjourn
Yes.
to have a photo, and we will adjourn for 10 minutes. Okay.